undercard to that, Simon, is British light heavyweight fighter Ben Whittaker. And I'm delighted to say Ben joins us live this lunchtime. Ben, good afternoon.
Thanks for having me, guys. Thanks for having me.
Hey, Ben.
Good to speak to you, mate. So, you're up against this fella, Steven Leonetti Dredhaj, who has 11 wins, 2 losses and 1 draw. What do you know about the Italian? What kind of prospect is he?
Yeah, it's supposed to be a tough task for me. 1-11, lost 2, but you guys know I do things different. I'm going to go in there, do what I do, and get the win. Move on to the next.
Listen, Ben, I was actually looking at your opponent today on YouTube this morning. Very tall, upright, game, likes to have a go, but it's also easy to hit. Sort of like, yeah, for someone of your ability, seems like the perfect opponent at this stage.
100%. Like you said, the game of the yard, the more you can hurt them, which is great.
Well, that's what you want.
My last fight against, my last fight against Vladimir, he took up a little bit. When someone comes to fight, it's more excitable for the fans, and there's more opportunities to hurt them. So for me, it's just I'm excited for it.
Yeah, I think at this stage of the game, that's what you want when you're boxing these opponents, and it's all about the development stage right now, putting the right opponents in you to get the rounds under your belt, etc. But ultimately, Ben, you want a guy that wants to come at you and will give it a go. This guy that you've got on Sunday is a guy with a winning record, so he does have a little bit of ambition, but that's what you want, because that's when you can get off with your best shots and showcase your skills, right?
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head there. Somebody coming to win, someone coming to try and actually have a competitive fight, you're going to perform better. Where some of these guys who just come and tuck up and just try and survive, it is a bit of a boring fight, and it's a bit of a sparring match. So I'm excited for a good, tough fight, but that's when I start really shining.
Ben, I mean, it's great from your point of view to be part of this, isn't it? The Bellew Smith fight, you're on the undercard. How are you happy with the progression of your own career at this moment? Because big things are expected of you, and to be fair to you, you put yourself under a lot of pressure to produce big things, don't you?
Of course, I think when you say some of the statements I do, you have to back them up. So it only helps me work harder in the gym. It helps me get up in the morning. It helps me do extra laps on the track. And I think with that mindset, I'll do fine. But touching on board, I'm excited. It's where I had the debut, the exciting debut, and I can finish the year off with hopefully another exciting performance, and then move into the new year with momentum and hopefully pick up a title of some sort.
Okay. Ben, thank you very much indeed. I think we're just losing your connection down there, but Ben, very much the favourite to do a job on this Italian in the undercard to Chris Smith fighting at the weekend against Mateus Masternak. That's on Sunday, remember, not Saturday, Sunday, down at the Bournemouth International Centre. Simon, this guy's got a big tip for himself, as Ben, but he's quite right. He's got great ability, right?
Oh yeah, no doubt. He's a talent, a real talent, and a perceived superstar. I mean, he's 26 years of age, so he's now in the groove professionally, and a few more development fights, and then they start stepping him up. It's nice to see him join us because he's been too busy on previous occasions. But it's a fascinating division, light heavyweight division. You know, you've got Buatsi fighting Aziz. After that, you might have Buatsi, if he wins, fighting Anthony Yard. You've got Callum Smith going in against Beterbiev. We saw Beterbiev beat Anthony Yard in a very impressive performance. You've got Bivol fighting Lyndon Arthur on the December 23rd. So this is an interesting division, but given he's 26... in the next couple of years, he gets himself into a world title shot. He might be on the right side of the argument when Bivol and Beterbiev are going over the other side of the hill.
Absolutely.
Because they're a different level.
Timing, it's all about timing. And like you say there, Simon, I think that it's going to be more difficult to hold him back as opposed to letting him go, because he is an unbelievable talent. Star. He really is. He is a future star. Absolutely.
On every level.
Absolutely.
Ben Shalom will market the hell out of him on every level. From digital to brand to... he's got the looks, the style. If you look at him in the ring, he's got all the charisma.
Yeah.
He's very shy. Doesn't back himself.
Right.
He'll be a star. He'll be a star.
So what about the main event? Chris Bellew Smith, I mean, is he under pressure here to produce a performance and a win?
Absolutely. Listen, with what's on the horizon for Chris Bellew Smith and the unification bouts, and you know the rematch possibly with Richard Riakporhe, there's big fights out there for Chris Bellew Smith, and this is a potential banana skin. Masternak is one of those guys that brings it. He's rough. He's been around for about 17 years, and he's a former European champion, and this is actually his first first ever world title shot, and he'll give it because it will probably be his last world title shot. But stylistically, these two gel so well because they both like to come and have a fight. They'll both meet head on, centre of the ring. By the way, it is live and exclusive on talkSPORT on Sunday night. That's from about 7 o'clock, I believe. Yeah, and it's going to be a great... Listen, it's a great way for boxer to finish the year because the main event really is stylistically it's going to be excellent, and you get a chance to see Ben Whittaker, who we've just had on, who, as Simon rightly points out, this kid is the future of boxing.
In terms of Bellew Smith, Simon, I mean, this country has a strong cruiserweight division with the likes of him, Riakporhe, Okoli. Yep. Maybe the biggest threat to UK domination comes from down under, and the very gentleman that springs to mind here is Jai Opetaya, who spoke to us earlier this week.
You know, I've still got a lot of boxes to tick as a cruiserweight. You know, I've still got a lot of unfinished business. I currently hold the IBF and Ringside Magazine World Champion, but I want more. I want more of the belts. I want all the belts. That's the goal. You know, I really want to unify the division. I think it's going to be a bit hard to do, but I feel like it's doable. Just because of, you know, the promoters and stuff like that not getting along, and just absolute bullshit, to be honest. You know, they hold us fighters back from reaching our full potential and stuff like that. But, you know, I'm hoping it all gets sorted and I'll be able to unify the division, or, you know, we can just have some unification fights.
As you heard from that, Simon, Opetaya means what he says and says what he means. Yeah. But you think this guy could beat any of our lot?
I think I think Riakporhe would give him a good fight. But I think that maybe he's too clever, moves too well, and has got too much power for Richard. But look, the bottom line is he beat Breeders to win the world title. The last fight he had was against Jordan Thompson, one of our fighters. That was levels. Yeah. And whilst we saw a really impressive performance from him, from Opetaya, you've got to factor in who he's against. But I do think, with all due respect to Lawrence and to Richard and to Chris Bellew Smith, I think he's the best cruiserweight out there.
He's definitely the man to beat. He's the monster of the division, without a doubt. And that interview you done with him last week, you know, he talked about going up to heavyweight, and great cruiserweights, they do that. You know, we've seen that in the past. David Haye, Evander Holyfield. You know, these guys
Usyk.
Usyk, more recently, Alexander Usyk. Yeah. You know, and I think that's where we'll see Opetaya go. But I think that he's going to be a difficult guy to beat in the cruiserweight division. But I think the plus side for that, for Lawrence Okoli, for Richard Riakporhe, for Chris Bellew Smith, is you need great dance partners to make great divisions, and they've got that in Opetaya. So, you know,
I like that. Like Torvill and Dean.
Yeah, like you and Simon.
Yeah, very much so.
Christmas party.
Especially Whittaker and her dance partner strictly.
You're now heading to the south coast to prepare for this event in Bournemouth at the weekend. I'm not sure Bournemouth knows what to expect with Spencer on the way down there. Hasn't been out much of late.
4 days he's going down there for.
4 days. And I'm going swimming, by the way, as well.
How do you manage that?
Another conversation.
Yeah. Huh? All right. You're down at B&B down the front of
I'm
Bournemouth.
going down with talkSPORT, and we're going to cover some stuff.
You don't need to be down there for 4 days.
Come on, it's 5 days.
If it was on you, you'd be down in the afternoon, back in the evening.
Unfortunately, I'm coming back to do a podcast with you and Cole Frotz.
Oh, that's right. That's terrific. We look forward to that. Spencer, thank you so much. Simon, wonderful.